Hi, I'm Simran. I'm a budding food enthusiast. I believe every one of us has a different relationship with food, and I like to experiment with mine. For the past quarantine/lockdown period, I've been trying to cook new food, get into different cuisines and new cultures. I believe food is the perfect gateway to experience a new culture. With Papa Ki recipe, we've always dealt with Indian dishes and Indian spices. On this show, I'll introduce you guys to international dishes and different cuisines. So, we'll take like a trip every week to a new dish, new cuisine, new culture. Today, we are going to cook gumbo. Gumbo belongs to Creole cuisine. Creole, if you don't know, is basically a gift to us from the marriage of African and French cuisines. Gumbo is translates to like a hot stew on a perfectly rainy weather day. The first time I came across this dish was when I was a kid, and it was thanks to a movie called Princess and the Frog in 2009, I guess. And here I am, 10 years later, I rediscover this dish. It was basically because I wanted to get rid of the chicken sausages in my fridge. So it's a hot stew, it's like soup. You have something in your fridge, you want to get rid, put it in it. It has everything from chicken sausages to shrimp to okra. I know it might sound weird, but chicken and shrimp actually go very well together. I mean, it sounds weird, but they complement each other. So let's get started.
We begin by heating some oil on a medium flame, to which we are going to add 25 to 30 grams of butter. Then we are going to mix the butter and the oil to brown the butter, and make sure to whisk it continuously so that the butter doesn't burn. Once you have your brown butter mixture ready, we are going to add maida, and this mixture of maida and oil butter is called a roux. A roux is a very basic French thickening sauce which we are going to use to thicken our gumbo. The moment you add your all-purpose flour, as you can see, we're going to whisk it continuously till we get this jaggery brown color that you can see. And it's going to take some time, but you'll eventually get there, so bear with it. Once you get the nice golden brown color, add one bay leaf to it. The bay leaf is going to give it a nice savoriness. And again, coat your bay leaf with the roux. So once you've coated your bay leaf in the brown roux, continue whisking it till you reach this amazing creamy thick consistency, and you will know your roux is done once you separate the sauce. It comes back on its own, and that's how you perfect your roux. So once your roux is done, we're gonna move on to adding the veggies. We start by adding one whole chopped onion, then one whole chopped capsicum and half chopped beets. Now we're gonna again cover all these veggies in our nice roux, and we're gonna mix it all together. If you don't have beets, you can always substitute them for carrots, but I personally believe beets add a nice color to it. Then you can add half glass of water to incorporate all the roux and veggie juices. And once your roux and water mixture is bubbling, we can move on to the next step. So once your water is bubbling, we're going to move on to the next step of adding the chicken stock powder to our roux. I believe chicken stock powder is a great investment in your kitchen pantry because it has a longer shelf life, and you can use it for n number of recipes. Once you add the powder, do whisk it in completely, and once it's mixed completely, we'll move on to adding sausages. Now you can get these sausages at your regular chicken shop as well, and just make sure to roughly chop them in half-inch pieces and do defrost them half an hour before adding them in the stew. We're gonna mix them well. As you can see, we have this nice pretty pink color of the stew. Make sure to coat your sausages in the roux as well. So now we're gonna spice our roux, starting with half tablespoon of salt, pepper as much as you like. As you can see, I love it a lot, so I'm gonna sprinkle it all. Then followed by one packet of oregano, and mix it all well. The next important spice is a Cajun mixture. We're gonna add 3 tablespoons of it because that is the one that flavors the Africanness of the dish. And it's a great investment again in your kitchen pantry. As you will see over the series, we have n number of ways to use this spice. After which we're gonna add a packet of peri peri to give it a little more kick and mix it all again together. Now we're gonna add some tomato puree. You can always find pre-made ones or you can make one yourself. You just have to boil 2 tomatoes with a pinch of ketchup and a pinch of salt. Peel those and blend it all together, and that's your tomato puree. Add 1 whole cup of it because the stew is gonna reduce later, followed by some red chili powder because we want a little more of the spice heat. Then 3 tablespoons of tomato pasta sauce. In case you don't have pasta sauce, you can always add ketchup to it because it just gives it a bit of sweetness to the stew. Once you add that, combine it all with half a glass of water again and mix it well together and let it simmer. After which we're gonna add my favorite spice, the allspice. So we're gonna just crush some grounds of allspice and add it to our stew. It's gonna give it a more earthy flavor and more comfort food flavor. So now we're gonna add the most unconventional ingredient of the stew, which is okra. As you can see, I just love directly cutting it with a scissors into the pot. We can always chop it on the side and add it separately, but chopping it with scissors is just more comfortable, so guys, why not? We're gonna let the stew simmer for 10 to 12 minutes. Meanwhile, we're gonna marinate our shrimps. Let's begin with generous amount of black pepper followed by half tablespoon of salt and half a lemon. This is a technique I use to avoid all the seeds from falling, followed by some red chili powder to give it a heat factor. You can add some more if your spice tolerance is high. Make sure to incorporate it well and marinate for 10 to 15 minutes. Once your stew is reduced by 1/4, you can add the shrimps one by one and let the stew cook for more 5 to 7 minutes until the shrimps are orange and your stew is bubbling hot. With that, your stew is ready, and now we can check out some B-rolls of it on our amazing aesthetic flat lay provided by Nature's Canvas.
So that was my version of gumbo. I hope you all like it. Do try it, share it with your family, eat it with your friends, cook it for a date night. And stay tuned for more recipes next Saturday. Same channel, same time. And if you really enjoy it, hit the like button, share, subscribe and hit the bell icon too. Bye!